Good Thursday morning. I'm Dwayne Nelson. Proposals that increase penalties for making or selling imitation drugs are headed to the governor for his signature. Both proposals, which are similar, unanimously passed the Senate yesterday. The measures, which are part of Governor Bill Haslam's crime package, were also unanimously approved in the House. One imitation drug authorities are trying to crack down on is called bath salts. The bills would allow authorities to declare the stores where the drugs are sold as public nuisance. Sullivan County Commission's Budget Committee working close with the Sheriff's Office to try to come up with ways to rectify a nearly $600,000 shortfall. Sheriff Wayne Anderson said his budget has not increased in 6 years despite rising call volumes, a jail that is well above capacity on many days, and increased costs for fuel, food, and medication. No resolutions were brought to the table during the meeting last night, but officials from both sides agreed to meet again soon to discuss how to cover that shortfall. East Tennessee State University is officially now one of just 3 weightlifting training schools for the Olympics in the nation. Meg Stone, director of the Center for Sports Excellence at ETSU, says they hope to possibly add more sports as well.
Obviously, it's one thing at a time. We want to make sure that we do everything well and in the correct process. And we want to see that we can be successful in one sport before we move on to others.
She added that they hope to expand the program to include cycling, rugby, or triathlon at a later time. Fans have spoken and Bruton Smith has listened. Press conference held yesterday at Bristol Motor Speedway to announce changes to the world's fastest half mile. Jerry Caldwell, vice president and general manager of BMS, says they're grinding off the upper section of the turns.
As this progressive banking goes, there are kind of 3 distinctive grooves. What we'll be removing is one of those on the upper side where the advantage has been. They've been able to gain that momentum coming off the top. So this will move the banking down on that slightly to where it's there's not as much of an advantage up there. Still allow for plenty of racing room.
Bruton Smith, chairman and CEO of Speedway Motorsports, made the decision to alter the track after studying fan input after last month's Food City 500. The Sullivan County Sheriff's deputies were able to talk a man into giving up who had threatened suicide by cop. That incident occurred yesterday in the Bloomingdale section of Kingsport and forced a lockdown at Kingsley Elementary School as a precaution. Sheriff spokeswoman Leslie Earhart says Paul Hodges Jr. was located by officers in his backyard.
Once their officers discovered that the man was in possession of a shotgun, from there officers began communicating with the suspect, and they were eventually able to convince him to put the shotgun down and walk towards them slowly.
Hodges was transported to a local hospital for a mental evaluation. Virginia Governor Bob McDonnell will be paying a visit to Glade Spring, Virginia tomorrow. He will be touring the recovery efforts from last year's April 27th and 28th tornadoes. McDonnell plans to meet with first responders and volunteers. This week is National Crime Victims' Rights Week. This year's theme is extending the vision, reaching every victim. U.S. Attorney Bill Killian, who serves the Eastern District, says his office is committed to assisting victims of federal crimes.
We have had over 2,000 victim events during the past year in the Eastern District of Tennessee. We extend financial help for travel and overnight stay for witnesses. We refer them to social and community agencies.
He adds, now is the time to raise awareness about the rights and needs of crime victims and the positive impact of those who provide services and support to those victims. Second lawsuit's been filed against Bluff City over its speed cameras. Johnson City Attorney Robert King, who filed the lawsuit for 5 people who received speeding tickets from the devices on U.S. Highway 11E in Piney Flats, said the process of appealing a ticket is an electronic lynching. Tennessee Department of Tourist Development and the Tennessee Department of Transportation will hold a public rededication ceremony this week at the Unicoi County Welcome Center. It will be renamed after Zane Whitson, who was a big supporter of that project. I'm Dwayne Nelson. Have yourself a great Thursday.